time for today's Hot Mics. Hot Takes. Our producer, Rob, in the house. Very beautiful guy. Very beautiful, very handsome. Let's talk about the Lotus. It's...
Bill, episode 3.
More of a setup episode, right?
Felt that way. My wife's getting frustrated.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I'm not frustrated because I like what they're setting up. Something's very... Walton Goggins is one of my favorite actors. I go back to Justified with him. I love this guy. And, of course, I love him as Baby Billy on The Righteous Gemstones.
What about with Chickless?
And with Chickless on The Shield. Okay, the guy's great. He's very dark. He let snakes out of a cage when they went to a snake show.
Almost killed his girlfriend.
Almost killed his girlfriend.
By the way, these are spoiler alerts for people at home.
Oh, don't worry about it. Get on it. If you're not watching The Lotus, okay, I should have said that. Spoiler alert, whatever. But he's obviously very dark. He's making a trip to Bangkok where I think he's going to try and commit murder.
Well, the backstory might be, and this is us just, he's the woman who runs the resort's husband is in Bangkok.
Yes.
We believe that he feels that gentleman had something to do with the death of his dad.
Of his father. This guy might have killed my father. I need to go avenge the life of my father.
Yes.
Now, the man he's going to visit is played by Scott Glenn.
That's correct. And
I played my cards differently in life. Scott Glenn could have been my father-in-law.
That's right, Bill.
I dated Scott Glenn's daughter in college.
And
by the way, everybody teased me because she was so far out of my league. They were like, "What are you doing with him?
I kicked your coverage.
What are you doing with that
Right?
guy? He's not a he's." I was 2 years younger too. I don't know how I pulled it
Bill,
off.
there was the Are You a Republican situation last night between the 3 women. The woman who lives down, Leslie Bibb, Kate, who lives down in Austin. Her husband
is a Trumper.
He's a Trumper, and she kind of leans in that direction too. They couldn't believe it.
Well, it's one of the first scripted shows to talk about Trump and use his name, Trump, and have these conversations. Remember, Donald Trump in our regular lives lives rent-free in our brains. We talk about him all the time. He designed it that way. But these women are talking about, Mike White did a great job of capturing these conversations where families, friendships, and things like that are actually torn apart by who supports whom. And Leslie Bibb, and Michelle Monaghan now, her character, and the other woman are ganging up on her, and it's happening probably everywhere.
They're talking about her behind her back, and she's hearing it all.
All right, well, let's see. This is a little taste right here of the women coming apart.
Are you a Republican? No. Okay. I'm an independent. But Dave is an independent. Since when? You didn't vote for Trump, though, did you?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So many. Think of all the people who voted for Trump and didn't.
Do you remember the Curb Your Enthusiasm episode with the MAGA hat?
Oh, yeah.
That was a big one.
What do you think, by the way, on that front? What do you think the relationship is these days between Larry David and his wife from the show, Cheryl Hines, who's married to RFK Jr.? I bet you Larry doesn't talk to her. I bet he's just deleted.
She's out?
The
show's over.
I do not know, but I would say that I don't think Larry can separate. I think Larry is just, he's too, he doesn't have the ability to separate.
You've spent some time with Larry. So
I have spent some time with Larry, and I have not asked him this.
Right.
But the next time I do, I will.
All right, a quick one, Bill. Belinda from season 1. You remember Belinda? She confronted Greg last night, who now goes by the name of Garry. She's sure it's Greg and not Garry.
Yeah, from season 1, this is Belinda who ran the spa. And she's now in season 3, at the new White Lotus, where she's training, doing some spa training to bring back some moves to her White Lotus hotel. It's basically like the Four Seasons or whatever it is, and go back to her hotel with these moves. But she sees Jennifer Coolidge's creepy husband. And he's no longer Greg. And now he's at the new hotel with a much younger woman, and he's Garry.
And she's a hooker.
And she's a hooker. This is the wildest show. I did think that there was, and by the way, Gary's hooker. Well, who's making eyes with her and who's going to get with her? But Patrick Schwarzenegger. Patrick Schwarzenegger, who's the horniest guy on the planet in this show.
Well, she called him a what? A douche.
A douche. I don't like that word.
Terrible word.
You know what? I put it up there with tush. I don't like the word tush for someone's butt.
I have a bunch of words I hate, as you know.
Yeah.
I can't handle any of them. One more. Tim, the dad. He's in big trouble.
Jason
with authorities
Isaac's
back home.
character.
Now he's a pill popper like his wife.
Parker Posey, his pill-popping wife, he cannot stop. Well, he needs to take her pills. This guy's coming apart at the seams. The FBI has showed up at his office, and he did something bad. He did a bad business deal. He did some laundering. He's
a total crook, Bill.
But I like watching someone come apart at the scenes. Now, one thing we haven't seen, on the nudity front, there was no nudity in episode 3. This is Mike White taking a break, but believe me, he's coming back strong. We see Patrick Schwarzenegger in the first episode.
Yeah.
We see the young Walton Goggins young girl. We see her boobs, and she's administering some sort of treatment to them that you don't want to see an older man doing with a younger woman. I don't want to see it, but we did nothing in episode 3.
I got a feeling we're going to see the hooker.
When you look at what we've seen in the first 2 seasons, how jarring the scenes we have seen, you know something's coming. They're not taking it down a notch. He has to go up a notch. So something horrible is on its way.
Well, Bill, that's our recap.
That's it. I love the White Lotus so much. Next week, we have Patrick Schwarzenegger.
That's huge.
That's going to be fun.
That is huge. He needs to show up, be here, and be great.
I'm going to say that is huge. Is it real? That's going to be a question for me. Or was it a prosthetic?